Welcome back to Apex 33 workshop update for you. This car, which used to have an engine, it drove in here. Belongs to a very good friend of mine. This is quite a special car to me because this is the car that I shouldn't have sold. This is, to me, this is the one that got away. So it's very brave of Nick to let me work on this car for him because he knows that there's a chance I'll steal it. I do regret selling this. Silver Series 3s are very rare, and I believe this is probably the best one in the UK.
So here we have the final finished item. Just been valeted today, freshly finished and ready for Nick to come and collect it in a couple of days' time. Messages from him, he is excited little bunny to come and get this car. But what we've done to this is quite severe. It's not just come in for a set of discs and pads. So the job list is quite big. The engine, 152,000 miles on the clock, and it was running, but it was tappy, leaking oil, and probably a good 30 horsepower down on power. So refreshed it, low mileage engine gone in there. It's had a couple of little fettles to it. The heads were taken off and skimmed. The heads were ported. It's got some quite clever copper head gaskets on it. The camshafts were meticulously measured to make sure all four of them match, because that is a common mistake. You change one head and then the cams don't match. So they're all perfect. It's just built. It runs so nice, as you'll see in the videos. So we've done some work to make the engine look pretty. It's all shiny. We've done a lot of powder coating of brackets and inlet plenum and thermostat housing and all of that to make it look as good as it goes. We've bolted it to a very low mileage decent gearbox, obviously a brand new clutch. Flywheel's been skimmed just to make sure the mating surface with the clutch is perfect, and it just works nicely. The gear linkage is just so nice. We took off his old, sorry Nick, granddad gear knob and fitted this lovely black Nardi Alfa Romeo gear knob, which Nick's wanted for years. Managed to find one for him, so that's in keeping with a late model 33. We've also done lots of other little bits. That was the main big thing, engine and gearbox. But it did have a stupidly complicated alarm, like a lot of cars from the 90s did, the Clifford alarm that talks to you. This had that with all the extras, and everything is black wire like it was in the 90s, so you can't just find the live red and cut it and steal the car. So we've removed all of that, which was basically dashboard out. So that was good fun. So that's all done. The heater box was buggered, so we've replaced the heater box, and you know from previous videos what they're like to do. So that all now works fine. It used to mist up the screen, it doesn't anymore. We have also fixed the steering column because that would drop whenever you were driving, so that's all been sorted. New front brakes. There was also an issue with a hub. The brake caliper mounting bolts weren't tightening because the threads were buggered. So this side front hub, we've replaced that. Have to give a good shout out to Gary Holman, who is in the 33 world actually. He races a Black Series 2 33, but he owns a company called G13 Powder Coating, and he did all the powder coating on the bits for this, and he will do all the powder coating for us in the future. Need to mention the wheels. These look like permanent four wheels, and everyone would think they are. They're not. They're the same style, but the keen eye will notice that they're actually 15-inch. But there's no such thing as a 15-inch permanent four wheel. Well, I sold this car to Nick 7-8 years ago, and he wanted permanent four wheels, but he also wanted 15-inch wheels, and there's no option. So he was going to buy a set of wheels off a 164 because they use this style, but then he realised, well, they're 5-stud, they won't fit a 33. So when you mention a 4-stud 15-inch P4 wheel, there's no such thing. So managed to find these thanks to a friend of mine who's an airline pilot, so he travels the world. Found these in Portugal. These are exactly that. They're 15-inch P4 wheels. They're designed by Alfa in the 90s for the very low budget 155s for the Portuguese market. I mean, that's a limited market for a start, isn't it? So it was for a base model 155 to try and sell the 155s at the end of their run. Wasn't very popular, but they did make a few sets. We're pretty sure, after doing a bit of homework with various people, this is the only set in the UK. 155 fitment, they fit on a 33. We just had to put some spacers, bizarrely 8mm spacers behind the back wheels, so that the tyre doesn't rub on an arm, which was the only thing picked up on its MOT, that it needed those spacers. So the low profileness of a 15-inch wheel just fits the 33 better than the 14-inch. It's perfect. So we've done all of that. There's also been a repair we've done to the driver's seat. When you sit in the seat, it was as if you were sitting on the floor. The Recaro seat has a unique design to the underside, and it's like a big sprung pad, and it had broken. So I know somebody that works for Recaro, and a combination of him and also the trimmer that we know, one supplied the bit, the trimmer fitted the bit, the seat is now absolutely perfect. So that's the finished item. I don't want to give it back to Nick. I love this car. I've always said it's the one I shouldn't have sold. And Nick, I said before, Nick's very brave to let me work on it because he knows I'm not going to give it back to him. But he's going to be happy. He'll be watching this video, and it just goes so well. Need to mention the rolling road. Sorry, we took it for a rolling road session about 10 days ago. Not really expecting any dramatic numbers because it is a standard car, standard engine. But like I said, it's got gas flowed heads and they've been skimmed, and just the engine's been built beautifully and carefully. And you get people that build these go faster 16 valve engines. The classic name in this country is A.D. Hawkins, and he's always said that without any modifications, just by building the engine beautifully and carefully, you can get over 155 horsepower out of a standard 16 valve engine. But I always thought that was a little bit, yeah, okay, if everything is 100%. Well, this was on the rolling road and it's 154.7 horsepower. And it certainly goes like it. It is the quickest 16 valve 33 road car that I think I've ever driven. It's phenomenal. I'm looking forward to getting Nick's feedback on it, but I've done 70-80 miles in this car in the last 3 weeks. It's amazing. It's I always said that my Burgundy Sport Wagon was the best 16 valve standard engine. It might have to take second place to this. This is amazing. In fact, cameraman Co, before Nick picks it up on Friday, we got time to swap this engine with my Sport Wagon. Yeah, let's do that. Sorry, Nick. No, obviously not. But it's amazing. So let's get the cameras out there and let's film it driving about so you can see what I've been witnessing.
Do that again. That was a very good shot. Do that again.
startup.